All right, so I wanted to make a video about some of the things I've upgraded so far from my last video. First things first, I did upgrade from the Rift S to the G2. Rift S was fine. I actually preferred it over the Quest 2 because Quest 2 has a ridiculous amount of compression, and honestly, you don't, for PCVR, you don't use USB, like you use DisplayPort. There's a reason for that. Also upgraded from a 2070 Super to a 6800 XT. I made the switch from NVIDIA to AMD. The 6800 XT is right around like a 3080, in between a 3080 and 3090 for an NVIDIA. And I got a super good deal on it. I think I paid like 400 bucks new at Best Buy. Let's see, that was probably a month and a half ago or so. And just the way GPUs are nowadays, like AMD's catching up a lot. I mean, they're not there on ray tracing, but IVR, so ray tracing is absolutely pointless to me. I mean, the only games I play that aren't VR is pretty much like BeamNG. So most of the time it's a settle on this thing, and I'm looking into getting into iRacing. So that's my take on that. 1440p monitor, 32-inch for obviously BeamNG and other games that I don't end up playing in VR. Got a Stream Deck, custom Stream Deck mount, printed that. I actually sell those on my website or on my Etsy shop. If you don't have a Stream Deck, it's awesome. It's the best button box, just for the simple fact that you can have like different files and different games and all that, just at a click of a button. Got my keyboard tray. It sucks if you don't have one, but this was on Thingiverse and just printed it off. The guy who designed it actually did a really good job. It's an awesome thing. Got my R9. I've had that about 6 months or so, maybe a little more, and absolutely love it. I mean, I use it not daily, but definitely quite a few hours on the weekend, maybe once during the week. But that thing is just, it's awesome. It's amazing. I started with a G920 and then went to a TX and then finally upgraded to a direct drive this year. Swapped out my seat for the NRG Ultra seat. If you're on the fence about just the regular NRG seat, that's I believe like $288, and then there's the Ultra ones that are $388. It is hard to justify spending an extra $100 on a seat, especially for a sim. But I will tell you that the cover alone makes up for it, because this is a nice like suede material versus like, like a harder, your typical seat. Not that that seat's hard, but I wanted more of like a something comfortable when I'm sitting. Also, I designed and printed these. There are vent covers there for the fan mods that I did. They don't really stick out too far at all, and absolutely love them. They cool you down in VR. It's hooked up to a speed controller, so you can adjust the speed, low to high, and honestly, it cools you down a lot. You don't have to have it full blast the whole time. But I do sell those on my shop as well. Obviously, just the brackets in the vents. You gotta do the wiring and the fans yourself, but those are two 80mm fans, and they definitely do the job. You don't need any more than that. It's just hooked up to a speed controller and just a 12-volt power supply. And I think the fans, the speed controller, and the 12-volt power supply, you can get them all on Amazon. I think I spent a total of like maybe $30, so it's really like. And then I sell the brackets, the front grates and the brackets to attach the fans for $30 on my Etsy shop. So all in all, for maybe $75, $70 with tax, like, and just some wiring and some know-how, like it's super simple, and it's definitely worth it if you're having trouble in VR, or like you just get sweaty for whatever reason. Everybody has, different things. They get sweaty, whatever. But that's enough of that. Anyways, then I have an iFlag. I use that for more for like BeamNG, or if the wife hops on the rig, she can't do VR, so she, it's just awesome to be able to see what gears you are in, especially when you just are going crazy and sometimes you forget. Anyways, handbrake handle. It's a progressive handbrake. I printed and designed that myself. Love it. And then Fanatec Club Sport shifter. It's got the adjustment knob in there, which is nice because you can change the tension on the fly. So if you really want that tactical 5-speed feel, it's pretty sweet. And then if you want to just kind of be more sloppy when you're drifting and going out of second and third gear all the time, you can do that too. Designed and printed that boot myself. Got tired of looking at, nothing there. And then, I was kind of getting tired of the Bride boot that most people do. And then, so I like these accordion style boots. It's been on the rig for almost a year now. It's super dope. And then this is covered. It's also on Thingiverse. So you can run that with just a Bride boot too. But I just decided to do it red to kind of accent the seat, because my seat before was black, so not really much of a different color scheme. All in all, I think that's pretty much it, besides the TLCM pedals. For the longest time I said, well, I only drift, so I'm just going to keep the G920 pedals, even with the brake mod. Yes, I mean, they were fine for what they were, but once I upgraded to these for the money, it was like $200. It's definitely, it was definitely worth it to me. Seen an improvement already, and definitely seen an improvement going from a TX to a direct drive. It's just so much more quieter, better wheel speed on the wheel. Doesn't kind of feel like a toy or whatever. It's pretty sweet. But all in all, yeah, that's pretty much my rig now. I don't plan on upgrading anytime soon. I got the 5800X 3D as the CPU. And so with VR and Assetto, I'm running in full servers anywhere from 78 to 90 FPS, depending on, where I'm at in the train and all that stuff. But the majority of the time I'm running in the 80s for VR. So that's really good. If you guys don't know VR, that's really good. And the G2 is just so much clarity in the G2. It's definitely awesome, and I'm glad I made the switch after I switched out the GPU. Other than that, that's pretty much it. I don't really see myself upgrading anything else in the near future, just because the GPU is fine, the CPU is fine, and I finally got, the VR headset that I've been looking for. And I got a comfy seat now, and I got fans to cool me down. I mean, honestly, you couldn't ask for anything else. I was on the fence about a 80/20 rig, but honestly, I do like this wood rig. I picked it up for like $60 a couple years ago, already built without obviously everything on it, but that's just a solid deal. It's a Ricmotech RS1. You can get the plans for like $32 on their website. So buying the whole thing already built for $60, and it was pretty well made. So I just pulled the trigger on it. It was kind of a no-brainer. Oh yeah, also, this is just like a foam mat. It's actually like a gardening mat. I picked it up at Fred Meyer in the gardening section, but after a while without it, my heels would hurt just from resting on there. And I don't really like drifting in shoes, or it's just, I don't know, I just don't like having shoes on the rig. It just feels weird. And so I'm in socks, so after a while, your heels would hurt just from resting on the brakes and gas. And so I picked that up and just velcroed the bottom of it so it could stick to the carpet, and it doesn't move at all, and it's solid. Like, I don't have any heel pain or anything like that, because you want simming to be fun, and you don't want to have bullshit to worry about. So yeah, that's pretty much my rig. If you have any questions, let me know. Help you out the best I can. But yeah, this seat is just badass, and it kind of ties the whole rig together. Before I had the Recaro kind of rep on there, it was comfortable, but the bolstering was a little too close. So after maybe a couple hours, like, it just almost would feel like it's hugging you too much, and your legs are too close together. I don't know, maybe I was just getting fat, I don't know. But this seat, hands down, it's an awesome seat. especially for simming. It's just, I can't say enough good things about it. And then obviously when my brain started working on designing the fans, like, absolutely love that seat. So yeah, that's my setup.